In our last video, we set position-to-position team stacks for NHL and NBA contests. Today, we show a strategy we call Snipe the Shotgun and how to use Cyclone mode, set various pro options, and reserve and set FanDuel lineups. We conclude by reviewing results and refining strategy. So let's get started.
Today we will enter 4 contests. The first is NHL. We have set max exposure to 75% and set position-to-position team stacking bonuses and penalties based on the analysis we presented in the last video. Next, we generate our lineups. And then we set Cyclone to generate 1 for each provider. And now we generate 5 lineups. We can view the progress as the multi-lineup generator runs. The pop-up run log shows total fantasy points, stack bonus, max exposure violations, and the total number of players that make up our 5 lineups. When it is done, we can view our lineups and confirm the team stacking. Now is a good time to explain the Snipe the Shotgun strategy. In contests that allow up to 150 lineups, a lot of contestants are using a shotgun approach to try to win the contest. A shotgun sends out a lot of pellets to try to spray a target. Most of the pellets miss. For us, this means the contest will have many more poorly built lineups. In contests where each contestant can only enter 1 lineup, each contestant will only enter their very best single lineup. So in the Snipe the Shotgun approach, we are only going to enter our single best lineup for each projection provider, not to try to win the contest outright, but to leverage the many poor lineups from the other contestants' shotgun approach to boost us high enough into the rankings to get a positive return. Now I select a contest in my per entry price target that allows many lineups per contestant. 150 lineups per contestant would be better, but we will settle for 57 lineups. Now we upload our lineups and check for out players while waiting for the games to begin. Using some of the lessons we learned from last week, we will go very lightly on position-to-position team stacking and generate 6 lineups with the multi-lineup generator in Cyclone mode. I click Generate Lineups, select 6 lineups, click Generate Multiple Lineups. I check the run log and then close the run log to view my lineups. This time I will pick the contest that allows up to 150 lineups. I will enter each of my lineups 5 times by editing the lineup CSV file in order to increase my potential winnings. Now I upload my 30 lineups and check for players that might be out. Now I step and repeat for 2 MLB contests. First, the Texas-Atlanta Showdown slate, which allows 143 entries. I reserve 6 lineups. Then the late slate, which allows for 100 lineups and also reserves 6 lineups, 1 for each projection provider. For the late slate, I set global max exposure to 75% and team stacking to 10%, based on strategy adjustments in the previous video. Also, since we are only generating 1 lineup per projection provider, I want to give the optimizer more freedom in selecting pitchers, so I loosen the max exposure in Cyclone mode to 50%. Now I generate my 6 lineups with the multi-lineup generator and check the team stacking. The first lineup is a 4-4 stack of the Dodgers and the Giants. This looks good to me. Now I merge my lineups with the lineup CVS template I downloaded after reserving my lineups. Then I upload the lineup CSV into the contest. Finally, I view my lineups. I check all my lineups and see that Christian Walker has been determined to be a non-starter. I click Quick Replace Player, find Walker in the player selection box, and select him. Then I search possible player replacements in the available players box. I select Patrick Bailey and click Replace Player and view my final lineups. Finally, I construct my lineups for the Showdown slate. I have max exposure set to 75%, Cyclone mode is on, and I generate 6 lineups. I merge my lineup CSV with the lineup template that I downloaded when I reserved my lineups and upload my lineups into the FanDuel contest. I check the lineups to make sure no players are out. Now I examine the results. Let's start by comparing my best lineup in the MLB late slate with the best overall lineup. I had a lot of the same players. I also had a 4-2 stack of the Dodgers and the Blue Jays compared with his 4-4 stack of the Dodgers and Padres. We both had Tyler Glasnow as our pitcher. Overall, I had a nice lineup, but I missed on Wilmer Flores, who was 17% owned. Looking at all 6 of my lineups, my top 3 lineups ranked between 431st to 635th out of 3,353, high enough to earn a payout. 2 of these top 3 were produced from the blended projections. Now let's examine the results from the Showdown slate. My best lineup ranked 95th out of 4,790. Unfortunately, my MVP was Corey Seager, who was 33% owned. If I had a decent MVP there, I might have come in first place. Viewing all 6 of my lineups, only my top lineup earned a payout. It was produced by Numberfire Projections. I also noticed Corey Seager was in all 6 of my lineups. I set max exposure to 75%, so how did this happen? This happened because the optimizer considers each player position as a separate player. By setting the max exposure to 75%, Corey Seager could only be MVP in 75% of my lineups, and star in 75% of my lineups, etc. I will be sure to factor this in next time. Now let's examine the results from the NBA contest. We had the 7,175th lineup out of 71,856. The best lineup had a 2-2-2 stack of Milwaukee, New Orleans, and Indiana. We had a 3-3 stack of Miami and Indiana. There were no obvious mistakes in the lineup. Our top 2 lineups were produced by Numberfire and Fantasy 6-pack projections and ranked high enough to earn a payout. Finally, we view the results of our NHL contest. We had a 3-2 stack of Florida and Colorado, compared with the best lineup, which had a 4-3 stack of Winnipeg and Colorado. We had kept the max exposure of our goalies tight when we ran in Cyclone mode, and as a result, we forced the optimizer to select 5 different goalies, one of which scored 0 fantasy points, and another negative 15.2. So what can we take away from this to adjust our strategy for next time? The next time I enter an MLB Classic contest, I plan to use the same pro option settings, use only the blend projection, and create only one lineup. Also, we were in the late slate, which only had 3 games. Next time, I will try to enter either the main slate or the all-day slate to get the maximum number of teams in the contest, and thereby the maximum amount of the shotgun diversity effect. The next time I enter an MLB Showdown contest, because of the bonus positions, I will give the auto max exposure a try in order to force more diversity. I will use only the Numberfire and blend projections. I will also try a strategy that I call natural diversity, where the number of lineups produced equals the number of players that make up the lineups. The next time I enter an NBA contest, I will reduce the team stack bonus or eliminate it completely. I will use only Numberfire, Fantasy 6-pack, and the blend projections, and will enter just 3 lineups. Finally, for my next NHL contest, I will increase the team stacking bonus to get to 4-3 combinations. I will only use Numberfire and the blend, and will only enter 2 lineups. I hope you found this video interesting and informative. We haven't made a big win yet, but we are learning. Learning is part of the journey, and if we are patient, I believe the big win will come soon. Remember, always play responsibly and have fun.